The failed Russian raid led to the deaths of several of their soldiers, a dozen wounded, and 39 of Vlad's troops decimated. Remarkable footage posted on Thursday shows a point of view of Ukrainian drones sequentially dropping huge explosives on Russian targets. The haunting video shows the enemy combatants disappearing from view in a massive ball of fire and smoke. Terrified Russian soldiers can be seen lying on the ground in fear as the drones blast them unarmed. The men killed in the footage are defenseless as they cower from the artillery. But Ukraine doesn't slow down its attack as the drones fly into the cowering soldiers. Putin's bikes, which were being used in the mission, are also completely wrecked in the clip, as Ukraine effortlessly disrupts the Russian offensive. A Russian soldier is also captured as a result of the botched plan, and can be seen in the video being brutally dragged to his feet by 2 Ukrainians and flashing his badge to the camera. January 14th, Seversk direction. The occupiers launched 5 massive assaults on our positions using motorized equipment and armor. However, thanks to the coordinated and professional efforts of our warriors, the warriors of the Edelweiss once again demonstrated their strength, resilience, and unbreakable spirit. Overall, the botched raid led to the deaths of 52 Russian soldiers, 12 injuries, and 1 soldier captured. This doesn't include the costly material damage, which saw 2 IFVs, infantry fighting vehicles, 2 ATVs, and 2 cars wiped out, as well as Putin's 39 motorcycles. In the face of continuing Ukrainian progress in the conflict, a top Russian MP admitted today that the male population must prepare to face a devastating global war in the next 3 years. Warmonger Alexei Zhuravlyov, who serves as the deputy head of the Parliamentary Defense Committee, added that Moscow should not shy away from waging a war against the West. And he warned the West, especially Europe, to ramp up its military strength and be ready to fight a war with Russia. Zhuravlyov said, "It is necessary to prepare the male population and, naturally, to defend the homeland Russia. Europe explains to us that in 2028 to 2029, it and its allies will be ready to go to war with Russia. We should talk about this and not be shy about it. If a war happens, we must have effective military commissions and mobilization reserves, and they must be clearly prepared." Zhuravlyov, 62, is an MP for the Nationalist Liberal Democratic Party and a TV propagandist. He is under heavy Western sanctions for supporting Putin's invasion of Ukraine. Putin himself threatened World War III when he said NATO would be engaging with Russia directly if the US and UK allowed Ukraine to fire their Storm Shadow and ATACMS missiles over enemy lines. He said, "This would in a significant way change the very nature of the conflict. It would mean that NATO countries are at war with Russia." Putin has been losing a record number of soldiers every day in his meat grinder war. Russia suffered its deadliest day of the war in December, after pushing thousands of North Korean troops to the front lines to fight against Ukraine. Putin's army has lost more than 2,200 troops in just 24 hours, but the brutal dictator is hell-bent on sending more men to the meat grinder war. This brings the total casualties on the Russian side to 770,420, according to the Russian media outlet Pravda. Almost 20,000 drones, 10,000 tanks, and hundreds of warships, planes, and helicopters have all been eliminated from the dictator's arsenal, Kiev has claimed. Recently, Russian forces are redeploying combat units from recently captured Kharkov to bolster their offensive around Pokrovsk, the Institute for the Study of War, ISW, reports. This might be a part of ongoing efforts to intensify offensive operations south and southwest of the town. The redeployment might signal a major shift in Russian operational focus as forces concentrate on a potential encirclement of this strategically important town in Donetsk Oblast. The Russian Central Grouping of Forces has assembled a strike group south of Pokrovsk, comprising units from both the 2nd and 41st Combined Arms Armies, CAAs. Ukrainian military observer Kostyantin Mashovets identified that this consolidation includes elements of 4 brigades and 3 regiments positioned between Dachensky and Novotroitsky. Specifically, elements of the 51st CAA's units, including parts of the 110th Motorized Rifle Brigade, which participated in the seizure of Kurakov in late December 2024, have been redeployed to support offensive operations east of Pokrovsk. ISW notes that it remains unclear whether the Russian command reinforced or sufficiently reconstituted degraded Russian units that recently participated in battles to seize Kurakov and its environs, so that they may effectively operate on the current front line in Pokrovsk. The Institute assesses that while Russian forces will likely continue their attempts to envelop Pokrovsk from the northeast and southwest, the rate of such advances will likely remain slow. Russian forces have yet to demonstrate the ability to conduct the type of rapid mechanized maneuver necessary to penetrate Ukrainian defensive lines and surround Pokrovsk quickly enough to encircle a significant number of Ukrainian forces.
Святое Печора, С-109, огонь открой.
Прицел 383, код, давай быстрее. Выстрел!
301, 301, УГЛ 55, 74.